Yeah, about that time again. It's about that time. Ladies and gentlemen, the real is back. The marquee show here on Unpopular Review. Ladies and gentlemen, I would just like to say to all of you, this is the Smackdown review show. In other words, please, I would like to invite you to say,
welcome to the Smackdown Penitentiary.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's all it's going to be. Now, so for today, you're hearing my lovely voice. I am Zia Silent. I am here. I am solo today. They asked if we wanted to have the temps call, get another guard out here to the penitentiary. I said, you know what? Big dog got it. I got it. It's okay. I can roll solo. It's nothing to me. And we still gonna rock and roll like we always do, y'all. So we're gonna get into SmackDown. SmackDown was a fire show. Everybody, SmackDown was a fire show, if I must say so myself. I can't say I could, but I'm not, because I'm not gonna nitpick the show to death, because there was things on SmackDown that I thought worked in the way that they were supposed to. We got King and Queen of the Ring coming up next Saturday, right? And which is a filler pay-per-view, if you will. Backlash was a filler pay-per-view as well. And we're just coasting right now. We're coasting until we get to the big one. And we know what the big one is. It's SummerSlam. We know we're expected to get a lot of tie-ups and some things that happen pre-Mania, during Mania, a little bit after Mania. So this was a good show to keep everything on pace, right? So we had Logan Paul and Cody Rhodes facing off for the contract signing. We had the main event, Randy Orton versus Carmelo Hayes, banger of a match. We got Nia and Jade Cargill again in an actual match, their second encounter ever, this is a marquee matchup that everybody wants to see, right? Everybody wants to see Jade and Nia in an actual real match. And I thought what they did was a nice teaser. It was a very nice teaser, so I had no problems with that. And we got Belair versus Tiffany Stratton. And so we also got a couple of teases, right? And I put Logan Paul here instead of Cody on this graphic, because Logan and Knight are the matchup that everybody wants to see more than Cody versus Logan. I don't know why that is, but at first when the fans said, "Oh, this championship run of Cody is boring," it is always not as fulfilling when you are no longer the hunter. When you're the hunted, you gotta switch something, and it usually happens most time with baby faces, right? It usually happens most time with baby faces, and it's not nothing that you can. It's not anything that's anybody's fault, right? It's not their fault. It's just you have to tweak something about your character, right? And so I don't know what it is with Cody right now that's not hitting, but we're gonna get right into it. So the contract signing with them, I didn't understand it, and the reason why I didn't think that was necessary. Not that I didn't understand it. Hello, Charmaine. How are you? Welcome to the Smackdown Penitentiary. My issue with this, with Logan Paul and Cody Rhodes, is the fact that we just got a contract signing with AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes, right? Which was a really good it was a really, really good contract signing. This contract signing doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't make me like or dislike Logan Paul anymore. It doesn't make me root for Cody anymore. It just doesn't do anything for me, right? But the thing that WWE did, and I really wonder why, because they spoke about champion versus champion, and then I get what they did with Paul. It makes you hate him a little bit more, and it prolongs his match till SummerSlam. I don't think I spoke about this last week on the SmackDown Penitentiary, that I don't think there's no way that Logan Paul doesn't walk into Cleveland as the champion. So this is an easy way to get Paul to pretty much coast. Get Logan Paul to coast some more. You get Cody Rhodes, I guess, getting a notch under his belt. You know, you got AJ. That was a good match. Short feud, good match. You got another one in Logan Paul, right? And if you want to compare it, and it's not fair to compare it, but if you wanted to compare it to Roman's reigns or his opponents, right? Let's not forget, we got Jey Uso filler title matches for Roman like 2 to 3 times, right? We got that in his run. We got Kevin Owens twice. So on pay-per-views, he had no business in being in, and there was no way that Kevin Owens was going to win. So this aspect of it, I'm strictly going to take it for entertainment purposes, and I am entertained. I am entertained by what they have to. I don't even care about the match. I more so care about this. I care about this right here. Them on the microphone. That's the best of this feud, is them on the microphone. And honestly, unpopular opinion, even though this is unpopular review, I think that Logan Paul is getting the upper hand on Cody Rhodes. But I also stated last week that Cody is not a good initiator. And what I mean by Cody being a good initiator is he needs fuel. He needs a little lighter fluid. He needs a little lighter fluid before he can really get cooking, right? And there's nothing wrong with lighter fluid. But it takes something for someone to pull the emotion and the wittiness out of Cody, as opposed to if Cody comes out to the ring, he's by himself and he speaks, it's just Cody speaking. Right. But if somebody else is in the ring and they're talking, and then Cody comes out with a microphone and he can retaliate everything that they said, Cody is top notch in that aspect. Right. Whereas Logan Paul, he can pretty much do it like that. But I would still say that Cody is the better talker. He can promo his ass off. But I definitely think that Logan Paul is bullet pointing but shooting straight from the hip. But I want to say to all of you, because I didn't get to the comments yet, so we're gonna run into these comments. Shout out to EC Executive Consultant. Yeah, his run is okay, but compared to his chase, even at the beginning of his chase had more excitement than this. And I just feel like fans need something more from Cody. But this is the period of where we just have to kind of sit here and just, because you can't give the people what they want right now. And what the people want is Orton versus Rhodes. We want it. Pause. We want it, but we know it is way too soon to get it, so we have to wait. And in that meantime, you kind of got to build stuff from each side, right? You got to build it from the front, back, side to side. And you have to make your people more believable. Like Bayley hasn't had a match since Backlash. She's just appearing, right? Because you have that women's division. If you take away Belair, Jade, Nia, you really don't have anybody right now. So I think this Queen of the Ring tournament is really good, but it's establishing your stars that need more shine, even though they have a laundry list of injuries. But this is the revolving door of pro wrestling. At any given time, the fire can strike. This is how we got main event Jey Uso. Jimmy went down, Jey stepped up, and people started opening their eyes to Jey Uso, and he's actually pretty marketable now, right? But even before the yeet, he was still getting over with, I'm going to get him. He was. So this is the time where we might not like the matches, but you have to like the process. You have enjoy the process. Chris, you are right. Naomi also in that conversation of those women, and you take away, those women. Who else do you see as somebody coming up? Tiffy's on the come up, but she's not on the level of them. But clearly, she's the next gen. She's the next generation, right? So, Orton versus Rhodes at SummerSlam. I would welcome it, but again, Joe Kim Noah, what's so good about Cleveland? Does Cleveland deserve that match? I don't know. I have nothing against Cleveland. I'm just saying. Is this confirmed? Where's this? Charlotte is back in a month. Where did you hear that? Was that confirmed or? Shout out to Cactus Katie. Yes, listen, I agree. Women's wrestling is growing. I want to choose my words very carefully. Just because we give women a chance doesn't mean all of them are good, right? Not all of them are good. Some of them are there to do their job. But the thing about wrestling fans is you cannot, for 100%, you cannot satisfy wrestling fans. I have yet to meet a wrestling fan who ultimately will say, this such and such event was great top to bottom. There will always be a nitpicker, but it's like if you look at sports, right? And you say going into the NFL season, if there's one team that is absolutely guaranteed to be a number one team all year, it would be the champs in the past 3 years, the Kansas City Chiefs, right? That's the undisputed. It's been proven for the past 3 years. But there's no way if you take that and put it into pro wrestling, you can't be like, oh, well, WrestleMania 10 was the A+ WrestleMania top to bottom. You're never gonna have fans on board 100%. It would more so be like 70-30, 60-40. It probably never 50-50. Probably never 50-50. It's going to teeter one way, and it's usually due to preference. It's what people prefer. So if somebody's preferred wrestler doesn't win, it's trash. You wasn't even entertained at that point then. Sometimes you have to just take away from what you want wins and losses wise and just enjoy the game. It's like watching a sports team that you have no interest in, but you just like the sport. Do you really like pro wrestling, or do you just like the people on your TV? Some people some people do look at it that way. Flair will be back by Money in the Bank at the latest. Ooh. You know what? Charlotte doesn't. She can afford to put people over at this point. She can. Shout out my guy Captain Kirk over there on Twitch. I am not canceled. You can't cancel me. I am not afraid. Cactus Katie, you are absolutely right. There needs to be more heels and legend. Well, legends wise, I think these women are done. Like, they don't really care. Trish Stratus, please grace us with your presence, because her last run was amazing. Chef's kiss. George chiming in. I watched Raw and I didn't think that Lyra Valkyria facing Io Sky semifinals of the Queen of the Ring tournament. I didn't listen. We talked about this. We talked about this last week. That Raw side of Queen of the Ring, big trash in the chat. Going back to Cody and Logan Paul. Logan Paul weasels his way out of the title on the line, which, again, didn't understand it. I get it. It makes you hate Logan more. But I don't think that it was necessarily needed in this sense for them. I will say that it's even though Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles had a very short feud, it was still it. I feel like it was better than this, even just on the microphone, right? Just on the microphone, I still thought that it was better. Like, does anybody agree with me on that? And like, am I alone on that? Like, this is the sparring back and forth of the two on the microphone is cool, but us as wrestling fans, we already know what's going to happen. So is does that not create a disconnect for you when you're watching something that you know it's how it's going to end? I mean, I wouldn't have watched Infinity War if I, you know, well, I would have. I would have. If I thought that Thanos was going to win, I still would watch it. But the fact that he did win at the end threw me for a loop. Um, so if you know the ending to the movie, do you still enjoy it? Because at that point, it's all about how you get to that road and how we get to SummerSlam with Cody and I mean, so if we're actually saying that or thinking that it's going to be Cody versus Randy Orton at SummerSlam. I guess my question would be: is that I still think that is that worthy of SummerSlam or is that more of a Mania match? I think it's more of a Mania match. I mean, SummerSlam is nothing to be. I mean, I'm not sleeping on SummerSlam. I know SummerSlam is one of the big four. You can possibly say big five. But I just think that Mania would do Cody and Orton more justice. Triple H booking is more predictable because he's actually listening. I mean, he has his ears to social media, right? But Vince's way of doing things was also um, pretty predictable, but it was predictable in a sense of, I guess, cheesy predictable. If y'all picking up what I'm putting down, but I think that Triple H is still doing a really good job, right? I still think that Triple H is doing a really great job. I am just in the sense of saying that Triple H does give he oh for sure. I love this comment. For sure, Triple H is smarter than Khan because he's not going to give us everything that we want, but Khan will, right? Vince does like to throw curves, but I think that Triple H has thrown some curves. We've gotten some surprises with trips. So I still think that he's doing a really good job as far as not with him. And so we're gonna move on to the first match of the night because I literally just spent 20 minutes in and out of that contract signing day. Didn't deserve it, but it's whatever. It's the penitentiary. This is a safe space for honest feelings. So we're going to go into Bianca versus Tiffy time. Everybody loves Tiffy time. Everybody loves Tiffy time. I get it. I get it. People love Tiffy time. Take away the lip injections and breast implants, and what do you have? You just have a moonsault. Okay. Now, I will say they are definitely throwing Tiffy time in the deep end, and she is not barely scraping by, doggy paddling. None of that. She's swimming with the sharks. She is swimming with the sharks. She's got it, and it's crazy because if you want to think back to when Mandy Rose went back down to NXT, improved her game, improved her ring presence, improved her microphone skills, improved her character development, easily became one of the top reasons to even tune into NXT. I am one of those people that only tuned in so I can see Mandy Rose, right? I feel like Tiffany Stratton is where Mandy Rose would be if she did get fired. And I feel like, WWE have to have a couple blondes. They got to have a couple of blondes. She's filling the blonde demographic for them. It's strictly what it is. She's just filling the blonde demographic for them. But she's also thriving with the women's. She's thriving with these women. I would like for anybody to tell me in the chat, what is Tiffany Stratton's character? Because I tend to like a Kiana James a bit more than Tiffany Stratton. I just don't know what Tiffany Stratton's character is at this point in time. And it doesn't hit for me, but her wrestling skills, fire. Her wrestling skills are fire. Oh, listen, that she was in hot water, and I saw the clip. Clearly, it was heavily edited, right? It didn't even match it just didn't match. The volume was off, the pitch was off. It was heavily heavily edited. But the fact that she posted it, I mean, could her losing to Bianca be actual punishment? We don't know. I doubt it, but that's just speculation. I will say they still kept playing on. Yeah, see, I got her on NXT. I got it, right? But now I don't. It doesn't even correlate still to the main roster. Like, I still know Carmelo Hayes is HIM. Carmelo Hayes is still Mellow Don't Miss. Carmelo Hayes is still brash, egotistical, and braggadocious, and all of these things that he was at NXT, maybe with a little tweak. But Tiffy time, I'm not seeing it with Tiffy. But that's just a character thing. Wrestling wise is the only thing that really matters to me. Character development is something that, I can get more emotionally invested in, but I really just care about wrestling. If you can wrestle, you can entertain me. That's how I like my wrestling, right? That's just me. Bianca gets the dub. And they keep playing up that knee angle. And I hate that they're playing up the knee angle, but at the same time, it does make sense. It makes sense, but I want Bianca and Jade to. I didn't want them to even face off against each other in the first place, right? I didn't want that, especially not so soon. When we're talking about, representation, right? Representation is the big thing now. Like, people like to see people that look like them. Yeah, one thing that makes me irritated as a African American wrestling fan is that every time there's two black people, they have to be feuding, and when they feud, the BWC is like, oh, it's black on black crime. It's black on black crime. What? You actually know not all of us black people like each other. You know that, right? Like, not all of us like each other. I'm just saying, not all white people like each other. Yams and guns. Yams and guns. That's kind of nice. That's kind of nice. Listen, yams and guns, beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, ram, hog. Woo! That's all that is, and that whole picture right there. So Bianca gets the win. This doesn't hurt Tiffany Stratton, and I say it doesn't hurt Tiffany Stratton because Tiffany's still, she gets the leeway of being a upstart. She's a future star. Anytime you get a future star that is out there with somebody who's established, clearly Bianca is already a future Hall of Famer. She's a been there, done that, still can do that, and she's mid-30s, right? And but you got Tiffany who kept up with Bianca, and she looked believable. And the thing that I notice every time I'm watching women's um, wrestling matches is some women do count their steps a lot. And that's one of my biggest pet peeves of being a wrestling fan, is that I can see when somebody's counting their steps. And I don't see that with Tiffany Stratton. And for that, and the way that she can carry herself in the ring, clearly she belongs up on the main roster, as do her counterpart in Kiana James. I would love to see in 2 years' time where these two women are, because they are yin and yang, but they kind of are similar. Sort of like you could take it to Rhea and Bianca, right? That's the marquee of the next generation behind the four horsewomen. We know these women are next, right? But they still haven't really like we got a taste of it at the Rumble that we got a taste of it at the Rumble that Rhea won, right? So we know that it's coming. It's definitely a Mania type match. I would apply that same type of, we know it's coming, it's just when. I would apply that to Kiana James and Tiffany Stratton. Let Kiana do her thing on Raw, and let Stratton do her thing on SmackDown. And when they cross paths, they're going to be more established. And we don't even know what Kiana James, if and when Kiana James is going to wrestle, but just her character there alone is better than most characters on SmackDown in the women's division, right? So moving along, we had our second match, which was LA Knight versus Tama Tonga. First of all, I want to say that I don't know if anybody saw this or thought of this when he came on the screen, right? And he was just like, yeah, what? Yo, they said he sounded like Homeboy from the Wild Thornberries. The little wild child with the hair with the yeah. I'm like, what? Why was he doing that? Why did they make him like a savage? Yeah, yes, exactly. He was like a rabid dog. And I'm like, yo, I can't deal. Like, I like Tama Tonga. I like him. I don't get me wrong. I definitely like him. He's got a dope look that fits the bloodline. But are you gonna let that man talk? Or y'all gonna let him be the new Solo Sikoa? Because remember, Solo didn't speak English. We don't know what it was that Solo, I guess he was speaking Samoan, but he was never really talking when he came up to the main roster. For whatever reason, they did not let him talk. He was just like, so I guess they're giving him that moniker. Like, it made no sense to me at all. And I hope that's not the direction that they continue to go. Listen, I put that specifically in the title. I agree with you. I do not think that he has been talking to Roman as well. Leon, thank you for stopping by. Welcome to the penitentiary, my brother. I am Solo. I that's the intriguing part, because what is Roman gonna say when he finally comes back is the fact that what they're doing with the bloodline and the character development of Solo Sikoa, and he's clearly been listening and paying attention to being behind a Roman Reigns and having to be under Paul Heyman's wing, right? The fact that fans don't trust Solo Sikoa in this position is beyond me. Like, they're saying that the reports are that the WWE is concerned that fans are going to gravitate towards Jacob Fatu, and that's hard. Like, that's done his WWE debut. I will guarantee you that at least 60% to 70% don't know who the hell Jacob Fatu is. Just like that same percentage don't really know Tama Tonga or Tonga Leo or whatever his name is. They didn't even know that he was what is his name? Hamacho? Whatever. Honeyco? I don't know. He played a Mexican dude. They didn't even know that. So I'm pretty sure they really don't care about no good dog damn Jason Jacob Fatu. Not right now. They could, but not right now. So listen, Randy, you know Randy loves rap music. Randy, he from St. Louis. He loves rap music. So, he definitely I think that, and this is just my prediction. I'll reiterate this on Thursday when we do our King and Queen of the Ring prediction show. I'm saying it now so I can get ahead of everybody this week. I already said it last week. Jey Uso, Tama Tonga in the finals. However, I was for King Gunther all the way. As soon as he said I'm in King of the Ring, I said, damn it, King Gunther. But you cannot deny what Jey Uso brings to what Jey Uso brings as far as excitement is beyond amazing. And it's very organic. It is very organic. A lot of people want to say, oh, well, Jey, he's being forced. No, he's not. He's not. Jey Uso really is not being forced. He's literally peeling back the onion of his personality, and people they're loving it. Like, they're loving it. Jey Uso versus Tama Tonga. And I put this here for this specific reason. The lies that Solo was telling Paul Heyman, we still haven't seen Jimmy. That there's certain aspects of, since Mania has gone and passed, that the small tidbits is what mean the most. And this arguably, this bloodline storyline is, I'm not even going to say arguably. It's no longer arguably. I'm willing to debate this. Anybody on UPR, anybody out there watching, I'm willing to debate this on air. Say when, where, whatever platform. The bloodline is the greatest professional wrestling storyline in the history of professional wrestling. I'm sorry, say it louder for the people in the back. The bloodline is the greatest storyline in the history of professional wrestling. This is damn near some Godfather shit, some mafia shit. Throw in any cult classic that is universally recognized as a great movie. This is what the bloodline is. George, I was just about to get into that, because my point of saying look at the small details about things since Mania has came and went is, you got to take a look at Solo's his his moniker for Tama Tonga, my MFT. And a lot of people still, we don't know what MFT is. We don't, right? But I would go on a limb and say MFT to Solo Sokoa stands for my family tree, right? There's there's always the moniker or the saying that you can't always choose your family, right? But you can, because sometimes I'm sure all of us out there have friends that are closer than some family members that we have, and those friends now become, like a brother, a sister, a cousin. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what Solo is doing. He's choosing because he doesn't want to be under his brothers, right? He's always going to be known as the baby brother of the Usos. Nope, can't do that. Can he be the heir to the tribal chief while Roman Reigns is still hot? Not really, right? But you can challenge it because it's already been said that he's the heir to it. But in order to challenge it, he needs his own bloodline. He needs his own family tree. So I get it. I like it. But my point in that was the MFT mentioning, right? And then kicking Jimmy out. We haven't seen Jimmy. And this is what I was thinking as well. If we get Jay versus Tama Tonga, I think that we see, you know what? We can't. Jimmy can't go over to Saudi Arabia. I'm pretty sure Jimmy can't. Jay can't. Wait, can Jay go? I think it's Jimmy. Jay and Jimmy will get back together, but the problem is if you put Jimmy back with Jay, does that stunt main event Jay Uso? We need to get Jimmy up and over with the WWE fans as not this clown guy, but he needs to be taken seriously, just like Jay is being taken seriously, right? Like it is just because what's going to happen is when it's all said and done and the Usos book is closed and their career is done, and we go back, we do these shows and we look at this and we say, well, who was the better tag team partner? Right? Who was better, Edge or Christian, Matt or Jeff Hardy, Bubba or Devon, right? Scott Steiner or Rick Steiner, Booker T, Stevie Ray. There would be no argument to say Jimmy Uso was better than Jay. Well, what do you mean? What do you mean? What has Jimmy done in his solo matches that makes him better than Jay in totality of their career? I will say that I love Tama Tonga's entrance, fire entrance. I like the music. I like this walk that he has, like this walk, this sneaky walk that he has, this little scowl on his face. Like I like everything about his character right now, right? And he's kind of like when he's walking, he's like kind of walking with a lean in his shoulder. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of surveying the area. What are he about to do? You know what I'm saying? I like it. I like all of it for Tama Tonga. But the thing about what they are doing now with the bloodline is the fact that you're doing arguably the same thing that Roman was doing with the original bloodline. And I say that in a sense of you're getting a lot of heat throughout the locker room towards the bloodline because of the way that they're winning their matches, the way that, Solo is calling shots, the way that he's moving in reference to this whole story, right? And Roman did the same thing. Roman absolutely did the same thing. He made enemies very quickly, week by week by week. And when you have in a sense of that, you're making a really, really good heel. You're making a really strong faction that most people would scoff at without Jay, Jimmy, Roman, and a Paul Heyman that's on board, right? That's the bloodline. But this iteration of the bloodline is building themselves up to be equally as dangerous. There needs to be some sort of gold. There needs to be some sort of title. Or else does Solo even go at Cody? Like, I like the fact that he's still pissed about them losing the Universal Championship, but he's not even touching Cody Rhodes right now. That's not his fight. His fight is to establish his MFT. Now, Logan Paul versus Tama Tonga, I thought it was exactly what it was supposed to be. Right? The bloodline just doing bloodline things. Tama Tonga definitely, if nobody has seen Tama Tonga, and if you're watching him for the first time in the past 3 weeks, there's not anything to not like about him, right? Except for his dumbass finisher. That dumbass pay dirt. We talked about it last week. The stupid jumping flatliner that they give all the black wrestlers to finishing move to before they can figure something else out. They gave that to them, right? Solo gets the distraction on LA Knight, and then Tama Tonga hits that goofy pay dirt, right? Not really the best finish, but it's a quick finish, and it was a fine finish. I didn't think there was anything wrong with it. It's sort of like how his finish was with Dawkins. It was Dawkins took his eye off the ball, and the next thing you know, it was over with, and that's it. That's fine, right? Until he can figure out whatever it is that his finisher is going to be. It is what it is. So Tama Tonga advances, and we're now waiting to see if what Randy Orton said last week, if Tama Tonga and himself are going to be on a crash course. The marquee matchup of the night. The marquee matchup of the night. Y'all know what it was. Nia versus Jade. I will say this. For anybody who is not liking the work that Nia has been consistently putting on since she returned, you're just a hater. Yes, I am a Nia Jax mark, but at some point you have to just admit she is really, really good at being able to make people get pissed off at her, and she can make people look good. Now, I bring that up to say, shout out to Dan the Man from AEW Dynamite Review Crew. He had a statement in our chat that said, you can put anybody in the ring with Jade and she can look good, but you can't do the same thing for Nia Jax. And as I was halfway asleep when I saw it, I started to sit up, wipe the cold from my eye, and I began to start typing. I said, you know what? I can't do this. No, I'm not going to do that, because Nia Jax is a 10-year veteran. You mean to tell me that she's never made anybody look good, or nobody's ever made her look good? The Four Horsewomen, Alexa Bliss, Carmella, if you think Carmella's good, right? Natty, Asuka, Nia's she's an attraction. She's an attraction, and she can wrestle, right? Nia is definitely slimming down. This is has to be close to her NXT weight. When she was at NXT, she was something that we had not seen before in professional wrestling as far as women go. And she's getting back there, right? But this was just a tease of what is to come. Now, whether you want to see this match on, one of the big 4 or 5 pay-per-views, which one would you put it on? Would you put it at a SummerSlam? Would it be a Survivor Series? Rumble? We saw the tease at Rumble, so you don't even need to put them on a Rumble card as a match. We saw the tease at Rumble, right? Jay got the best. She got the better of Nia. This is Nia, repaying. All right. Okay, this is what's happening. So I think that this is good. You don't want to pull the trigger too fast, but you had to pull it, right? You can't do Bianca versus Jade right now because that's also a marquee matchup, right? But they're two faces. They're two faces, and it just doesn't look good, right? Okay, so you would put this on SummerSlam. I would put this on a SummerSlam or a Mania, but now the fact that this has happened, you kind of can't separate them now. You can't separate them over what happened, and Jay got busted. But Nia doing excellent heel work. Screaming at Bianca's daughter. I just thought that was a nice touch. How do you get a heel to get even more over than they already are? And I say a heel being over. If they're hated, they're over. If they're cheered, they're over. If that place lights up with boos, that person is over. Period. Well, I guess on her point, she would have heat. But she screaming at Jade's daughter, I thought that was pretty dope. I really thought that was dope. That was a nice touch to. So yeah, because I say that I love that part of this segment because Royal Rumble, we first see Jade and Nia square up, and she gets tossed, and that's how do you bring something out of these two women? You have to make it personal, right? You have to make it personal, and this was such a first. It was you can even see when they were in the ring before the match start. It was damn okay, all right, you big, I'm big too. I dump your big ass like I did at the Rumble. Like you have two attractions that are just sizing each other up. And when you have two attractions that are facing each other, they're not even trying to wrestle. Let us understand that. They're not trying to wrestle. They're trying to outperform. They're trying to show up and show out on one another. And that's exactly what they did. But for her to do this, this is classic heel. This is classic heel. Let me put that up. That is classic heel right there. The work that Nia is doing needs to be respected. It needs to be respected. There was a need for a necessary heel that could take a lot of heat, and it's Nia. she came back and she filled that void. This was a great spot. I am looking forward to whatever happens between these two ladies, but I was okay with the whole outcome. I honestly was okay with the whole outcome. I love Jade. I love Nia a little bit more. I've been a Nia fan since day one, since I first seen her when she was a cheerleader for the I think it was Lando Magic. Somebody down there in Florida know. And she was a model. If anybody's seen Nia Jax slim, whew, I don't even care. Nia Jax big. I'd take her too. Take her to Pound Town. I'm okay with what's going on with that, and I don't understand how fans, you want something too early. You want stuff too early. That's the thing. You want Christmas every day. You want Christmas every day. It's going to get stale. Christmas every day is going to get stale. This was okay. This was absolutely okay for both of these ladies. I thought it was a plus segment. I don't like to give people credit for when I use their stuff, but I'm going to give credit because I'm also going to troll right now. And I got somebody else in here who wants to step in and unlock the penitentiary with me. And y'all know if I'm the alpha, he's the omega, or if he's the omega and I'm the alpha, vice versa, it's Thanos and Darkseid. It don't get no better than that. It don't get we got the marquee guys on here. Everybody, welcome to the Smackdown Penitentiary. Met the Mighty Knox 3X's because of hardcore. Met the Mighty Knox, what going on there, boy? I can't hear you.
See, muted.
Yeah,
how you doing, man? Wouldn't be a Mike Knox without me being muted somewhere, right? It's a story. Hey, what we drinking there? You got your wine? I got my mimosa.
Hey, listen, yeah, man, listen. We're gonna chill today. I said my baby boy taking a nap. I said I'm gonna chill, watch some Walking Dead, and I got some Taylor Port.
Walking Dead. What's going on?
Some Taylor Port right now. So
got some love cheap liquor, yo. Listen, man, I'm sitting back watching King of the Ring, listening to you on the side at work here doing my thing, and I said, you know what? My man ain't here today. I ain't got much time, but let me come on here and talk a little bit, if I can, with you about what took place. Because, I'm back, Saturdays and Sundays, we call it Creative Sundays, right? Mm-hmm. So Saturday for me, I'm listening to you guys. I'm building Monday's show. It's a little sneak preview, right? I'm going to do King of the Rings over the few years, over the years, right? Honoring all those guys, the Stone Colds, and just watching some of these old ones, because I got offended, like fans today, like even with what happened last night, right, bro? Why we gotta still compare things? Why something gotta suck for something to be bad? We argue, debate all the time. I'm not LeBron super mark, but I'm not gonna say LeBron is trash. He's just not my Jordan. You know what I'm saying? I'm not putting the man down, right? But they're putting down the attitude there. And we know, at least I've always said, it's not the greatest era from they had a lot
in
of
totality, it really was some shit.
Yeah, it had, but I also think you should be able to have lived in that moment to call it some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like you can't go back and watch it and say, "Oh, that was some shit." You watch. That's like reading wrestling. For those on unpopular review, it's my thing in here because I want the thoughts and opinions said by Mike Knox.
This is a safe space. This is the penitentiary. We don't give a good dog damn. This is a penitentiary. This is why we are the marquee show right behind you. This is why our numbers speak for themselves every week. It's number one show and number two show.
Don't watch wrestling or read wrestling and then tell me you watch wrestling. You can't. I'm sitting here like literally Saturdays. Really, I get into my music on Saturdays and something in the background I don't have to pay attention to. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, I can't watch old wrestling and not hear the storyline. I gotta hear what this stuff was. And I'm on King of the Ring 98, but still, I'm enjoying some of these older things. I got some things to talk about on Monday, but last night, I gotta say, I'm gonna regurgitate this on Monday. I gotta say it. Thank you. I was completely content with this finish. 100%. It had to happen. Shouldn't have happened. I didn't want it to happen, but they made it to be there. So how do you get both girls over? How do you stop Black Girl Magic from meeting each other way too soon? Nia has to beat her, right? and she beats her by beating her with a Nia Jax tactic that Jade falls victim to by getting disqualified. And it's funny, I'm watching with my daughter, and she said, did somebody say mommy? And I said, yeah, that's her daughter. Before they even switched the script, I didn't know she had a baby. And that was beautiful to me to bring that involved there. And then you have the people saying, oh, Jade still sucked in this match. You guys just, you need to, there's a song by SWV. It's called Black Pudding. Come get a taste. I know that you love it from the smile on your face. Come on, y'all can't be getting on with Jade Cargill. Every time she's on the screen, I tell my sons, shut up. Look, listen, her and Bianca, listen. You see that beauty? You see that beauty? You see those teeth? You see them teeth? Baby girl, look at them abs. Look at them abs, baby girl. What are you talking about, yo? This was a perfect, they got it. We didn't want it. It's too soon. It's a pay-per-view caliber match, in my opinion. And executive consultant's opinion as well. I know that. Okay, I know you feel the same way. These are both your girls, especially Nia Jax, and I know when she had the curls out, because I know you. You said, "Oh, my baby got the curls out tonight. She can't lose.
She got
don't
curls.
lose the curls.
Listen,
she don't lose the curls.
Out here looking like a snack with them curls, man. I love it. I love it.
A whole what they call it, a little board with the snacks.
Charcuterie.
Yeah, you know I don't say that stuff, so I got you.
I can't say the shit either.
Okay, shit, you fucked us both up. Yeah, look at yams and guns and butter, stupid mother suckers. You know what I'm saying? I like that one, George. Okay.
But we always knew that you know, looking at the SmackDown side of things and looking at the Raw side of things, it was just it was no contest. But as I said earlier, this was the appetizer. This was the teaser. This was the foreplay, right? This was getting the move right. This was setting the candles. Okay, let's call this setting the candles, right? This was setting the candles. Last night, this is putting the music on. Because now we about to get into something. You know, we still got to get some foreplay. We still got to, you know,
with the incense.
We still got to, yeah, we got
at least the candles.
We got to burn this. Listen,
incense or candles.
Hey, listen,
if you're real freaky, do them both.
At least I'm playing music. You know, a lot of people, they don't like to play music when they doing their thing.
If it is, it's
no background music or nothing.
Get ghetto dough. Thank you, dope fiends, for your support. You cannot have relations with a woman of that. I mean, you can, but not somebody that you want to, you know, make it last forever for. Okay, what is it? Is it homemade or McDonald's? Which all I want to know. Yeah. It's like warm apple pie. Go ahead, brother.
I will say that WWE acknowledging that on Twitter as well. Don't get me, WWE. This is
well, you're better off going to somewhere else.
No. I mean, I just needed.
I know what you're talking about.
But for them to acknowledge this on social media, it does two things. It makes Jade look like a even more super bad, super mom, superhero type, right? Loving mom, beautiful mom, can do it the same. She can hold up. Now, if y'all was out here,
I'm so proud of you right
praising,
now.
If y'all was praising, I had to get her off there. This is what I want. If y'all was out there praising, the man has come around, Becky Lynch.
Oh God.
For being a damn mom and wrestling and being a champion. And if y'all don't get behind that beautiful black woman for doing that, and her daughter sitting right there, are you kidding me right now? I guarantee you look on Twitter, somebody got an issue with that right there.
It was on Twitter as an issue. It was on TikTok as being an issue. I saw it on Facebook groups being an issue. It's literally, you know, people can sit on whatever side of the fence they want to sit on, right, Dice? And you know, I've been on both sides of the fence where I will sit there and fight a debate, and sometimes it's not even worth my energy any longer as I'm getting older. I'm realizing I just can't. I cannot watch the unfaced masses of everybody. I just don't even respond. But they, in this moment, kept her strong, kept Nia strong, made you want them more again, and it did something even bigger that I thought you were going to continue to go through. But you went there, but you didn't finish it for me. You got a triple. Let me bat you in. Okay. And automatically took that. She is the heel automatically between her and Bianca, because we know Bianca's not turning heel. But now Jade may not be turning heel as fast as people want her to or think she has to by
She doesn't
introducing
need
this
to.
moment. She doesn't need to anymore. This change, WWE is very good at flipping it. You know what I mean? Making you feel sorry for someone. And like you just said, if this doesn't make you cheer for this girl, that adds
don't have a
more
fucking heart.
BGM to the. Again, I sit back with my daughter, and that's of course my anchor, right? Because she identifies it, loves it immediately and quickly, and if that's what she identifies with, that's what it's for. It's not for me. It's not for the old man being a pervert saying, "Hey, you see those on the left-hand side of Bianca? We know what happened there." Okay, but it's about that moment as well. Okay, and I thought that moment was absolutely good for what it was, and I thought that propelled Jade Cargill in a way for me. I cannot wait till Monday to dive in that a little bit deeper.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. This is what you want. This is what. Look at that face rate. That's what you want. If you are a fan of a heel, like I am, you want this. This is what you want. This lets you know that you've done your job. When people don't like you is when you know you do your job, and you do your job very well. And Mr. Mike Knox, I would like to say that you do your job very well because there's not a lot of people that like you, right? I know somebody named Sean Ross Sapp doesn't like you.
Hey, he don't know
We
me.
don't give a fuck because the industry don't even like Sean Ross Sapp.
He don't know me. If you know me, you like me. I always say that the realest people fuck with Mike Knox. Doug Consultant put in the chat, it says, I was not content with the botch. Right?
With the chair shot botch?
I'm assuming that's the one.
But she only caught the chair with one hand.
She kind of caught it when she got hit with it, and that can be played on either side.
Is that where she got the cheek cut?
Yeah. And
Okay.
that can be played on either side, and that's where I did read somebody say, well, who was Nia to lead this match? Like, who was Nia? Well, Nia Jax, I personally think Nia Jax.
Who said hold on.
Well, you know, Nia
Nia
does
has
have
10
a traditional, or not a traditional, but a path of injuring ladies. But I always feel that things go both ways. I know I'm not sure if you got to it yet. I'm not going to be here for the whole show. I got to go. But I was telling my little girl, I woke up this morning, what Carmelo Hayes did. I said, we can praise Randy Orton all we want to. Randy Orton. Let's just call it a spade, right? But let's give Seth Rollins. Let's give Evan Bourne. Let's give those who take certain kind of RKOs. The wrestler did those things, right? So that kind of thing, it go either way. So I'm not sure if that was Nia's fault or that was Jay's fault. It didn't affect to me the match enough because I'm an intelligent wrestling fan. Things happen. It's live TV. If I could say cut and do it over, it would look better. But you can't. So all this bot stuff, we got to cut that out just a little bit, wrestling fans, just a little bit.
Listen, you know how many points I botch when I'm on here talking live? Let me put a camera on one of y'all faces and see if you can come off just as smooth as I can. I'm a smooth motherfucker. Sometimes I'm stuttering too. You do it, I do it. It's what happens.
I stutter when I ain't on radio live.
The one thing about entertainment, these are not movies where you can cut the shit. Jade Cargill, cut the shit, right? Literally, I found nothing wrong with it. It was a quick spot, honestly.
Yeah, it was a quick spot.
It was a quick spot because as I'm trying to find it,
I like when she yelled at her daughter. She's like, "Yes, little girl."
I mean, it was a quick spot. Okay, so
right
here. It was a quick spot, and I want you to focus down on that right there, right? That's after Jade had already, she missed it with the right hand, but she still had the left hand on it, so it was just a corner or a side of the chair.
I was surprised to see them do this in the match in the first place. That's why I thought it was perfectly. I thought it was a perfect match. I'm saying that in so many different levels of the match. I cannot
perfect in the sense of what it does for the future
and what it had to do. And just the fact I was shocked they let Jade do that kind of a match. When she tossed Jade over the, I'm like, whoa. She pulled out. I'm like, whoa. She hit her face. I'm not sure that hit her face there, but she hit her face. Come on, she really smacked the damn side of the ring post also. So I don't know where she got cut at.
They teased this. It had to have been that part because it kind of hit the side of her and she brought it back up. But because I was looking too, I was like, oh, her hair is red, right? I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But they teased this in the match before, but with Solo, LA Knight pretty much tempting Solo, like, yo, hit me right here so I'll go next round. Like, hit me, right? Like, and then they actually do it. So I thought that was a big surprise. But I want to go back to what you just said. It's for anybody who thinks that Nia can't call a match. The woman, like I said, is a 10-year vet, bona fide Hall of Famer. If you're going to tell me that she has botches, I guarantee you can look at any one of the 4 horsewomen, they got botches. You look at Asuka, she's got botches. Belair, botches. Carmelo, botches. Trish, botches.
First of all, I like
Doesn't
you
matter.
named the 4 horsemen and you kept going naming other greats, by the way.
Yeah, because I'm trying to put in perspective.
Okay.
Because somebody in our wrestling group said that you can put Jade in the ring with anybody, she looks good, but you do it with Nia and it's not so much.
Yeah.
And you literally can look at Nia Jax's greatest matches and she's got about 15 to 30. And that's not me saying it as a mark. That's literally 15 to 30 different matches and articles. So put some respect on Lena's name. That's all I'm saying.
Listen, brother, I gotta go. That's my time. I want to hop on here and, you know what I mean, give you a helping
Yes,
join the
sir.
penitentiary. Listen, always come through, and I never drop the soap, y'all. And guess what, y'all? We say fuck Dave Meltzer. Now we saying the D, the I, the D, the D, the Y.
Diddy,
Oh yeah.
piece
And
of
now
shit.
we say fuck Diddy. And I'm out of here, y'all.
All righty.
Peace.
Listen,
All right, brother.
George, you was picking up what I was about to. That's where I was going next. I swear we are really on the same wavelength because, one, I'm a little upset that I still ain't got no Bailey action, right? I ain't got no Bailey action, but I got Bailey backstage. Got Bailey backstage, and I'm okay with that, right? So let's go here. Bailey's she's kind of getting the Cody Rhodes treatment, right? She's getting the Cody Rhodes treatment. And I say Cody Rhodes treatment because she started with I'm not saying a bad, no, she started with a good first title defense in Naomi and Tiffany Stratton, right? Really good match. Equally as Cody Rhodes had a really good first he had a really good first title defense, and AJ Styles, the bona fide Hall of Famer, right? Bailey's just sitting back in the wings watching, and as the lovely, let me go ahead, set the mood right, because this sounds like a commercial about to happen for Mike Knox show as I get mellow. We see you, Pamela Martinez. I love that purple hair. Look at that belt just shining on her shoulder. Nice little nose ring. Just looking scrumptious, right? Nice little jean jacket. Everybody watch the show, you know, I usually have a jean jacket or a hoodie on. I'm a jean jacket whore. But I am also in love with Pamela Martinez. Pamela Martinez, better known as Bailey. We at the Smackdown Penitentiary just simply like to say, we love you. In every aspect and inch, that is all of you. That's basically it. Look, I'm just saying. We love you, Bailey. We love you. It's great. All right. Now we got that out of the way. I will say that kind of it very resemblant of Sasha of NXT Sasha, in which I thought that was the best Sasha. But shout out to you, Chris. Thank you for stopping by the penitentiary. Yeah, listen, you know what? Last week's show, I don't know if you remember last week's show, but Chris and Dan fucking laughed at me because they said I have the worst pause points because I kept pausing on Randy Orton making orgasmic faces or some shit. So I don't know. I'm not doing it on purpose. I'm just trying to speed ahead to what I'm doing because I can't play it because because we'll get a copyright strike. And the last time I got a copyright strike, we had really good numbers for the penitentiary, but they were still stunning a little bit. So try to avoid that. But we get Chelsea and Piper Niven interrupting Bailey, right? for the second week in a row. And if it looks like that's going to be Bayley's next feud in Piper Niven, I'm absolutely okay with that. Reason why? We saw what Piper Niven did versus Jade Cargill last week. She didn't win, but she had a really good showing. She had a really good outing. And I feel like if you're having an outing like that versus an attraction in Jade Cargill, but Piper's experienced. Piper is been a vet as far as the indies go. She's well respected, right? It's just this main roster run. It started out bad with Dewdrop. Dewdrop had to been the worst name in the history of professional wrestling. Top 5. That's a top 5 idea. Top 5 worst wrestling names in professional wrestling. Dewdrop has gotta hit. Dewdrop. Shockmaster. That shit's too. Shockmaster too. That shit is trash. But if Dewdrop and Bayley are supposed to go at it and she says, see you next week, I am absolutely okay with that. I am okay with that. But I will say the work that Chelsea is doing, the work that Chelsea Green is doing, still really good work. If Chelsea, I like this. If Chelsea gets a title shot, I'm okay with it. I think that Chelsea is, again, I think that this has been my prediction. I can't remember how far back I said it, but my prediction was we're going to continue to get this laughable, this comedic Chelsea Green until Daddy DeVille returns. I am standing on that. I've been wrong before. I'm not ashamed to be wrong. That's a bold prediction. It's a bold statement. But I think that I just think that that's where we're heading with Chelsea, right? Because at this point in time, it's not working for her in Piper anymore. It's really not working for her in Piper anymore. It's unfortunate. But I just think that Chelsea needs something other than comedic, because she can really go. Chelsea can really go. If anybody has seen Chelsea outside of WWE, she can really go. She had a men's match with somebody. I can't remember who. If anybody, was it Matt Cardona? I want to feel like it was Matt Cardona before they. Listen, when Daddy DeVille comes back, Daddy DeVille needs to be a heel. Reason why I always love Sonya Deville as a heel, because as a face, I don't feel like she flies under the radar as a face for whatever reason. I can't pinpoint it, but she flies under the radar. I've seen it when I've watched Total Divas 2-3 times over, especially with when they brought in Ronda Rousey. And she's the first MMA female to come there, and like they pretty much just shitted on DeVille's accomplishments as a MMA star. Like, it's like boxing. If you get your hands registered, if you get your hands registered as weapons, you get a boxing license, you're a professional boxer. People who box literally have to register their fists as weapons because they can knock somebody out, or they know pressure points to hit. They can knock somebody the fuck out. They can kill them. DeVille being a heel, coming back and telling, that is funny, George. That is funny. I will say that if you bring in DeVille back, you're bringing DeVille back to ask Chelsea basically, what is wrong with you? What happened to you? You've turned into a joke since you've been aligning yourself with Piper. That puts up Piper versus Deville. They get it, Deville goes over to get the Chelsea. So possibly we can get Chelsea and Deville back together, because I thought that tag team was actually a really good tag team that hold those belts. And then Daddy Deville was injured, which she should be coming back at least by the summertime. But I want to move into, before we get to the main event, DIY versus Legada del Fantasma in Humberto and Carrillo. Really good match. And this move for DIY, it served really good for them to get drafted to SmackDown. Did really good for them, right? It did really good for them because that pop that they got, really good. I don't know if it was because they were in Jacksonville. You got some Jacksonville Pro Wrestling, that was not AEW. But for me, and George, if you could, anybody in the chat, if you could tell me if you heard the crowd, because I felt like the crowd all night was cheering. They were active, they were cheering, they were chanting during matches, they were reacting. Some people say the crowd was dead. I'm not expecting a WrestleMania type response when I'm watching TV on a Friday night. No. But as long as I can hear, definitely I can hear the pop in the audio, then that's what you want as a wrestler. If I'm not mistaken, you want a reaction. No reaction is bad. A cheer or a boo would suffice. But if they are quiet, oh, you suck. You suck. And DIY, definitely everything that they did with DIY, I mean, like the moves they were doing, it was a bunch of cheers. And I thought that this was probably one of DIY's best matches since they were right? Crowd goes ape shit when Santos gets ejected. So you can't say that this crowd was it was okay or it was dead. No, they were into this match. They were into DIY all the way. Like they literally were into DIY all the way. So I don't know what people were putting their volume on. Like I don't know if they're putting their volume on or anything, but DIY gets the W. Really strong showing from them. Shout out to Legada del Fantasma for putting them over. Because they definitely reacted very well to everything that those gentlemen were throwing out to them. And so I thought it was a good match, and it was in a good spot of the show card. And excuse me. So going into the main event, Randy Orton versus Carmelo Hayes. And I want to go back really quick to Logan Paul and LA Knight, right? They teased a little interaction, right? They teased a little face to face. And I will say that this is what people want. This is what people want. This is the SummerSlam matchup. That is the SummerSlam matchup that people want. Will we get it, or how do we get it? That's the issue, right? We all know that they're going to lose. Well, Paul's going to lose at King and Queen of the Ring. We know that. We know that for sure. So Logan gets to keep his belt, and he now can look towards something else. I think that you could, even if Logan Paul goes to Cleveland and wins, or if he goes and loses, it's fine. He still represented his town as a small YouTuber who's now a multi-million-dollar megastar with mad endorsements that influence pop culture. Hell, y'all just see me out. I had a fucking Prime energy drink right here. Really love Prime, so he's made it. He's done it, right? He's fine. He can. Logan Paul can take a loss and it won't affect his character at all. That's how strong of a character I think that Logan Paul is at this point. George, so you wanted to bring up this segment. I thought this segment was really good, right? But I'm loving what Carmelo Hayes is doing to all the people that have already been on SmackDown. Like, he's a big deal. He was the number 1 draft pick, right? And him and LA Knight are getting into it. I could see this match possibly being on for next week. Because these stars, these two guys won't be needed in Saudi Arabia. They lost their tournament, so if they're taping SmackDown for the flight that the wrestlers have to take, this would be a really good match. This is a main event match, would be fine. I wouldn't see a problem with it at all. But moving into the main event before we get up out of here, Randy Orton versus Carmelo Hayes. I just want to say that just like I spoke on Tiffy time getting thrown into the deep end, Carmelo is equally getting thrown into the deep end. And it's a really, to be in the ring with Randy Orton in your, I think it's his fourth televised match on SmackDown. You're in a really good position as a wrestler. You're in a really good position as far as talent goes, where you get to work with a GOAT in Randy Orton. I didn't see a single thing wrong with this match. Clearly, Orton was the one calling the match. But it was literally just the spots. And Carmelo said that he studied Randy Orton. He grew up on Randy Orton, as most of us did. Anybody, between the age of 35 and 21. Yeah, we've watched a lot of Orton. We've watched a lot of Orton. But the size difference in these two men, like Carmelo is barely bigger than Leo Rush. Shout out to Leo Rush, because I'm loving what he's doing on the indies with this Blackheart gimmick. Crazy. Anybody out there who doesn't know what I'm talking about, YouTube, Leo Rush, Blackheart. It's like some crazy Bray Wyatt, Finn Balor type shit. It's crazy. But if he could somehow claw his way back to WWE, I would love to see what they can do production-wise with what he's doing on the indies by himself. But the problem is he keeps retiring and unretiring. The size difference of these two men is massive. There's a massive difference, right? Like, if you're going to build a professional wrestler prototype, it's Randy Orton. Some would say Drew McIntyre. I would say Randy Orton. The height difference didn't bother me at all either, because again, it is WWE. If they can make you believe that, Rey Mysterio can defeat two people that are clearly better than him at wrestling for a world championship at WrestleMania, you can put on this match. But I think it worked well for both men. Carmelo had a really good, strong showing, and so did Orton. Orton is having fun with these matches of younger talent. He's having really good matches. But this last part, when Melo goes to hit the second rope, and Orton usually waits for, like, sometimes Orton had a habit of like turning and just like kind of, I'm gonna wait for you right here, and then hit the RKO. This time he kind of just played possum a little bit and then caught him. Right, really, really smooth RKO, like perfect execution by both guys. Melo took it like a champ. Pause. And Orton gets the 3 count. One of the best spots of the night, if not the best spot of the night over all matches. However, I would argue that Nia versus Jade, and Nia yelling to Jade's daughter, probably was better. It probably was the highlight for me as far as entertainment goes. Is wrestling wise, that's it. But as entertainment as a whole, that would be the most entertaining part for me. Now at the end of the match, we get Solo Sikoa and the rest of the bloodline come out and, I guess basically taunt Orton or try to intimidate him. And this, I gotta say, these looks that Solo come with the fresh haircut. Solo with the fresh haircut. I'm loving it. He's really on his mafia shit right now. He's definitely on his mafia shit. I can't even front. I'm loving every single minute of it. Randy Orton was going off on Solo. He was going off on that microphone on Solo Sikoa. And you have to, I guess, understand or anticipate that it's gonna, every match that Tama Tonga has had, they've interfered in. So I wouldn't expect this one to be any different. I think that I think Randy's going to get his, but I think he's also going to put over. He's going to put Tama Tonga over. But there they are. Orton doing what Orton does. Hot fire. But Orton was spitting. When that foam starts getting on the side of his lip, yeah, he's feeling it. He's emotionally invested in it, right? And that's very Orton 09-ish. That's very bald head Orton. That's what that reminds me of. And the man is serious. He's serious and he's having fun. And that's and when you can tell when wrestlers are having fun, that's what really matters to me. So overall, I loved it. I'm excited for what happens next week. Absolutely. Before we get out of here, go on and remind you guys that we have a slew of shows. Next up, you'll get to see Mike Knox, 6 p.m. Then the Raw Watch Along and Review with executive consultant Freckle Sensei. And then the Rolodex of NXT co-hosts will be joining Barbara, aka Sabrina Estella. Wednesday, Dynamite Crew, White Boy Wasted Wednesdays with Cactus Katie as well. Thursday will be top 5 as specials or predictions. In this case, it will be predictions. But we're doing top 5 later tonight. Top 5 King of the Ring Rumble, King of the Ring winners with myself and executive consultant, I believe. And then you all come back here for the Smackdown Penitentiary on Saturday at 12. And I believe that our co-host, our gatekeeper of the penitentiary will be back, Vic. Before we get out of here, let me just play a quick little commercial for you guys from the NXT crew.
We got a backstage interview here
with Nate Paquette.
When is it not Renee? Mind you, I have zero wrong with Renee. I mean, listen, all you guys out there know, you've been watching me, been watching us. I don't not like Renee. I just think she's overused.
I mean, every match has her afterwards.
Every single.
Can we do Cactus Katie segments? Like backstage with Cactus Katie?
We're going backstage with Cactus Katie, aka the Batgirl.
I may have to change my background for that one.
Can you change your background, please?
I don't know.
You have like a bat cave or like.
Are you in Mexico? What are you doing?
No, Israel.
Oh, this is Israel.
Yeah, I don't know how to change it.
Do you have the 50 Shades of Grey background?
No, that's just my normal background.
Oh!
I love this one. Last time Dan was like this was when you and Jack and Shay was reviewing Collision and Shay's on kept beeping. You're damn right. You're damn right. Because you know what? I don't need to hear a little beep, beep, beep.
Hey, did the roles reverse from last week? Are you lit and I'm not?
Oh, maybe, Vincent, maybe.
Finally, somebody else besides me gets lit.
Let's go. Got my blood pressure going through the roof right now. I don't know what's going on.
That was the NXT review show. You can catch those guys on Wednesday immediately after Dynamite ends. Everybody to chat through all platforms: Twitch, Twitter. I didn't understand it either, but that is some of the banter that you will see from all of those great people on every Wednesday. Everybody across every platform: Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and somewhere else. I'm missing somewhere else. YouTube. I'm sorry, YouTube. Thank you all for stopping by the Penitentiary. I know it's not normal to see me by myself, and I usually have somebody here. We couldn't get anybody. I said, you know what? I got it. It's okay. My people trust me. The numbers will still show, and you guys have been dope in the chat. You guys have been dope viewing. Thank you. Make sure you like, share, follow, subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps us continue to do what we do, and that is talk professional wrestling. If you guys want to give your input, our inboxes are all open always. Some of our shows will allow people to come on, and if you want to debate me, if you don't like my takes, debate me. I love to debate. Talk with me. Walk with me. Talk with me. I don't have a co-host, but for all of you here, welcome to the Smackdown Penitentiary. For all of you here that have visited me today, we're going to keep this shit on lockdown. The marquee show on Unpopular Review, right next to the Mike Knox show. You got the Alpha Omega. You got Thanos. You got Darkseid. 1A, 1B, doesn't matter. If you want your best entertainment, UPR has it for you. We got somebody for you, some personality for you. So my name is Zia Silent, aka the Almighty Dice Man, big champ in the chat. Zia Silent. I am out of here. I will see y'all later on tonight for top 5, and then you can catch me on the Mike Knox show with 2 words or 2 sweet. So,
welcome to the